Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yay. What up, y'all? Geekswagg in the place to be. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. This time I have like half. Well, let's see, not half. I can't do my math today. We got like 2/3 of the crew. How you doing over there, Makita?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Can't complain.
Well, you can always complain, girl. That ain't Nathan's. You can
Yeah,
always
that's
complain.
true, right? Always find something.
Exactly. Oh man, but it's good. It's good to have you back. We are glad to have you here. Dirty Helmato is on CP time, ladies and gentlemen. So be certain that when he gets on, that you guys boo him for as long as possible when he gets on. So that's what I say.
Yeah, seriously.
Boo, boo. But we have a fantabulous show. We've got a lot of great topics to talk about today. We're going to get into some Google Glass. We're going to get into some PS Now. We're going to get into, good Lord, I can't even remember everything that we were supposed to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there's a lot of things that we have planned.
yeah. We got stuff from TV. We got Adventures of Bungeoneering. We got technology. We got Rock Band. We got the Evolve Beta. Lord have mercy. We should just jump into it, Makita. What you say?
Oh, Sure.
Let it do what it do,
Sure.
baby, right?
Let it do what it do.
Hey, word. Uh-oh. It looks like Helmato's trying to get up in here. I should just mute him when he comes in, period.
I
Just
know,
let his
right?
face just sit there and be like, what you saying, Jay? I can't, what was that? Let me see if I can get him in here real quick. Jason McNabb, can you hear me? Add people to this call. Hey, Jason not on this call. Can we get him? Dig nation. Across the nation. Ah, there he
One
goes.
so. Am son. They are rushing me. I'm crying.
That's right. We gotta rush you. We gotta rush you. Makita's up in the place to be.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
Makita. How you doing, girl? You all right?
Good.
Yeah, okay. I'm just checking in. A little worried about you there.
Well, same old,
Yeah.
same old. Work, work, work. Feels like death. Can barely have time for anything else.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. But it's alright because, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, we got the whole crew here. For the first time
Yeah.
and who knows how long, we got the whole crew here. This is awesome. Like I said, we got a great show today. We got a lot of topics. So me personally, I'm gonna jump right into it. All right.
Well,
So on the gaming side of things, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first quarter. You guys are going to have to, just kind of take it easy, sit back, relax a little bit, cause there's like almost nada coming out in the first quarter
Yeah.
this year. Unfortunately, due to a lot of delays and so on. But it looks like the first topic we have here. It looks like the original Resident Evil, the HD Next Gen edition, has been remastered, retouched up, redigitalized. It's got its makeup on. I don't know. It's on Xbox One and PS4.
Now, when they say that, I mean, do do they really mean like, hey, we're gonna have like some really cool graphics that probably make you shit your pants, or
Mm-mm.
is it these are just really smooth polygons?
yeah, that's kind
it
of what it
has
is.
it has slightly less angles than before.
Right.
Basically, all they did, they they ported it, they enhanced the graphic. I mean, it's still shitty, but it's a shitty 1080p. And they kind of did like what they did with the Halo stuff. They did, they redid the cutscenes.
right.
So that's basically what you get. It's pretty much the same game. I mean, if you compared it to the old one, I mean, they're like it's pretty much the same. The only thing that's different is the cutscenes are a little shinier,
Yeah.
and whatever they could enhance, they enhanced it.
Yeah, I heard it was more like they took the version that they had on the GameCube and then they put a little spit shine on it, kind of 3-4, a little bit of 343 Industries on there. They just put a little spit shine on, like Jay said,
Yeah.
the cutscenes. It makes it a little bit smoother or whatever, but it plays like exactly the same, and it's not gonna blow your mind. It's not gonna make you turn the game off. They're not gonna stick it on. They're not gonna stick it on virtual reality or something like that. It's just oh, okay, this. The water actually looks almost like water. It glitters. That's about it.
I mean, I actually debated whether I'm going to get the game because I
How much is
actually
it?
love the. It's $20.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad. I mean, you can't really complain about that.
No,
I can complain
it's a
about it if I
classic
want
game.
to.
Whatever.
No, and I mean I love the Resident Evil franchise. I kind of fell off like after 4. I was like, it's getting kind of retarded. But
I
like
fell
the
off
first,
after 1. Honestly, I never really got into the whole series.
I mean I loved it. I mean I thought there was actually 1 I enjoyed. I mean when I first played it, I was probably like 16, and I thought it was a really really good game. I mean it was groundbreaking stuff. That, I mean I've never played, and it was
You were actually scared.
I was actually scared, and it was actually, you know what? It was actually a long game.
Uh-huh.
Well,
that's just because you're not good. You could probably power through that if you could.
But for most games that were out on the PlayStation, that one was actually pretty long. So it was. I enjoyed it, and
I think I only got through like a third of it when I played through it. I stopped playing it after a while though.
I may pick it up again. I mean, for $20, I might just drop and reminisce for because I know what's gonna happen to me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be hype, and then I'm gonna realize how crappy the graphics are. It's like watching what got me disappointed. I used to love Greatest American Hero.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh!
And I started watching it on Netflix. I almost choked myself out after 2
You were like,
episodes.
ooh.
Yeah, kind of like that, and so. That's kind of what I feel is going to happen. So I'm wondering if the probably 4 or 5 hours that I put into it is worth my $20.
I think this time around I'll be really good because when I first played Resident Evil, I was like a kid, like a super kid, and I played it. It was the controls were really confusing to me because I hadn't really been can't talk. I hadn't really been able to have experience, with those games that have
the wonky controls.
Mechanics.
Yeah,
mechanics. It took me a little while to get used to it.
I never did.
I stepped into the room and I heard, and I hit power off. I hit power off and that was it. And I never played another Resident Evil game again until Resident Evil 6.
Oh, for real? Wow. I actually tried to get into it. What was that one that you actually convinced me to buy, Jay? It was
5.
Was it 5? Was it 5 or was it 4?
Yeah,
Resident Evil 5 was the one where they had you basically shooting a bunch of 4 was a co-op, was it?
No,
6
5
was co-op.
co-op.
Yeah, 6 was co-op. 5 was co-op also. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were shooting all the black folks.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the one.
I played Resident Evil 5. No, I played Resident Evil 6 first, and then I played Resident Evil 5, and I'm like, these aren't zombies. These are just like
black folk,
like diseased African people, and just like, no. How about you just die? We'll treat you like zombies. You're not worth shit.
That's horrible.
Past that game like 30 minutes. I was like, nah, I don't feel right playing this game.
That's right, you're killing all the brothers, stuff coming out of their head.
Oh man, no, I don't know. It never clicked for me when I was playing either one. And I remember Jay was really trying hard to get me into that one. We were playing through it, and even he was like, this is all right. He was playing through it because he had bought it. He was like, yeah, it's all right, and I was like,
I mean, the co-op wasn't bad. It was the first time they introduced it.
It was decent. I mean, I played with you on that one. That was all right.
Yeah, the ones I really liked was 1, 2 was okay. 3 was alright. 4 I thought was probably the best one out of the franchise. 4 was fantastic.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, I thought you had 4 because they.
Yeah, I did. I think that was the one that we that you like convinced me to actually buy, and then I trade.
Wow.
I
Four,
mean,
four
it
was
wasn't horrible. I don't know. I couldn't get into it to the point where I knew I was going to actually beat it. You know, it wasn't that I thought it was a bad game or anything. I just knew that, I was like, I played through a portion of it, and I was like, okay, that was my feel. Here you go. Give me my
well. The thing
$2.
that right. I think the thing that pisses people off about Resident Evil games is because, like, you're right. The controllers are a little tough, and because it's survival horror, they make it so hard sometimes. Like you just get frustrated because
Yeah.
you can't react fast enough to some like zombies and stuff like that. It drives you insane.
Well, certain things, I would say certain zombies, like, um, I started after I played six. I was like, okay, let me just go back and play a couple other things. But it just seems like really impossible to freaking survive. It's not even really that the
Mm.
zombies per se, but
Mhm.
it's like they make it so hard for you to find any type of weapon or
Right.
like ammo for
They
your
give you limited
weapon.
ammo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta
true.
Yeah,
search
it's like
high
how
and
the
low for
hell?
like 2 bullets. Be like, yeah, oh.
Yeah, and then you get like shitty like in between time
Mhm.
for saves and stuff like that. Like I don't miss those days when you had to get like
Yes.
one of those typewriter ribbons. I don't miss those days at
I
all.
know, right? To save the game.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah, the
like, what the
typewriter ribbon.
bump?
Yeah,
I need a daggone typewriter ribbon.
Yeah. Nope. No
and
thank
Give me
you.
some braille or
and
something.
you'd be stuck, and that'd be a part you have to fight somebody, get past them, and you had like 2 bullets to do it.
Oh my goodness. Ugh,
Those were
those were the
those were
days.
yeah.
Oh man. But we do have some other stuff going on in the gaming world. Harmonix has decided that they are going to come out of the shadows and actually try something other than Fantasia for next gen. They decided that I won't 100% say it because I don't think they 100% said it, but they sent out surveys to choice few rock band people that I guess are like registered on Harmonix or something, to ask them what they wanted or what they would expect from a next gen version of Rock Band. And they also like released new DLC, from like Foo Fighters and a few other bands, which is like the first time in over a year, I think, something like that. But it brings to light a very interesting question. We all know that Rock Band's original formula with the whole plastic controllers and trying to recreate a whole professional guitar with buttons, their pro style button controller, and the drum set and the keyboards and everything. That experiment failed horribly. It ended up with just very, very a whole lot of plastic instruments that were broken, that couldn't get repaired, that weren't compatible between Rock Band and Guitar Hero, or Guitar Hero and Guitar Hero 1 it was compatible for, but Rock Band 2 it wasn't. It was just this big mix up. It ended up being horrible. Both Guitar Hero faded away, Rock Band faded away, and then all these other little offshoot Rock Band kind of games or whatever that were just god awful, they all faded away also. So they're trying to revive, what is it called, the rhythm, is it called music rhythm or rhythm based game, I don't know what they call it, the rhythm music games, Rock Band games they're trying
Yeah.
to revive, right? um in you guys' opinion, what is the way that they could revive this and get it to actually stick? Do you think it needs to be like a combination of different control styles, one controller type, just using the
Um.
regular controller, or do they just go all out and just say, look, if you want a serious controller, you're gonna have to pay like $200 for this really nice controller, or you can play it using the Kinect or the PSI or whatever.
Um. Okay, speaking as somebody who is a huge fan of Rock Band, me and my sister used to play it for hours and hours every day.
Hmm.
Um,
Jay and
I
I
don't
did
know.
too.
I
Yep.
don't know what way it could be because let's keep it real. Gamers are really, really lazy nowadays. So it's no, it's it's just keeping it real. Like, who wants to do all this stuff? I think that rhythm gaming may possibly be on its way out, like from adults for adults though.
Yeah.
I mean, like little kids are always gonna like that stuff. I mean, starting from like Dance Dance Revolution, like
Mhm.
nobody there are huge fans of that, but they're not making those games
Mm-mm.
anymore. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, so now these games have dwindled down to, hey, we've got these guitar controllers or this drum controller, or whatever else kind of controller that they have, and now gamers is like, oh, I'm tired of that. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna make things stick. Um, part of me says I was gonna say a DJ turntable, right? But
Yeah, they
there was
tried
a
that.
game that they
I
tried
have
that.
it. I still have it.
Yeah,
DJ
DJ
Hero. I still
Hero,
have it.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was actually fun. They just didn't do much for it after, the little playlist that you had,
right.
you know?
Exactly. I think if they're gonna do it, they're going to have like different kinds of music, and I mean like they have to have a solid playlist or solid playlists of different genres of music. Like,
Mm.
I felt kind of like they forced pop on a lot of these installments, and then they had but they had the rock, but they didn't really have um they didn't really have
The
good music,
roll.
because yeah,
The
they
roll.
really didn't have it.
They didn't have the
They
jelly
really,
roll
yeah, yeah,
thicky.
they really didn't have it. I mean, if they
Uh,
had it something like, if DJ Hero had something like dubstep or something like that, I would be all on that shit right now.
I
Like if
think a
they had
lot of
like a
people would
DLC
too.
pack and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, or if they had a
You know
different way,
what?
like even with this music, if they had different like pedals to make it like the wah-wahs
Yes.
for the different instruments and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
make like different sound effects or something, or make your own mix of music, or put in your own music so that it can, like, I guess maybe the AI for the game could make like the notes for you to press and stuff. That would be really awesome. I could
Mhm.
see that, and it would be a great use for, I guess, whatever system is coming out for PS4 and Xbox One. They should be able to do that, right?
You
yeah.
would think. I know I've seen a lot of like these weird offshoot video games that where they actually tried to take the old rock band instruments and develop these like music creation type video games, using those because they were like they knew that those controllers were still out in the masses, and that people were still using them here and there, and that they wanted to leverage the fact that they were out there to try to see if they could get something where, like you just said, it would help you create your own music, even if it was just chip tune music or something like that. And I think even Jay didn't they have something similar to that on like on the Guitar Hero Metallica thing? Didn't they have like a little chip tune creator on
yes.
that or something like that? It was
Yeah.
it, it was
I think it
weird.
was an
They
add-on.
Yeah, it was like a little add-on, but they've I guess maybe they just didn't have the right backing or the right marketing, or maybe the game just didn't work as well as they hoped it would. But it seemed as if they tried to do some of that stuff. I know even before they did DJ Hero, there was another. I think there was an actual DJ that was trying to do something like DJ Hero before Activision jumped on it and did their thing. And of course, I think the biggest problem that a lot of people had with DJ Hero was it's one turntable.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
It got boring really fast.
it defeats the difficulty and the purpose of being a DJ simulator if all you got is one turntable. So I thought for sure that when they jumped in and decided they were going to either do DJ Hero 2 or even after 2, that they were like, okay, the next evolution of DJ Hero is gonna be 2 turntables. Oh, blow your mind, kaboom! And then all of a sudden everything just faded away because they knew, they were like, look, we didn't have the fan base. We barely had the fan base for DJ Hero 2.
Right.
And they just couldn't get enough. I guess they couldn't get enough DJs to do their what were those mashups, and that was basically the only way they could do the tracks for the game, is if they actually had DJs do real mashups. And they were so limited on what music they could have and what music they could use, because they were trying to keep pop music or stuff that people knew. And then
But that's where they went wrong. I mean, the game, from what I can see, the game isn't like it never been a bad game as far as like the
right.
instruments and stuff.
Hmm.
Like the instruments, yeah, they could make them a little better. I think those things are debatable, but I think the core functions of what the game did, worked.
Right. It
Okay,
did.
where they really messed it up was like, dude, don't have Lady Gaga as a downloadable for rock band. It's a rock band, okay? I mean, like I could understand stuff like old Rolling Stones and stuff like that, and stuff that led up to that. But like having pop music in there, I think ruined it. And a lot of people complain about that. Like, yo, man, give me some good stuff. Throw me some more Judas Priest. Throw me some more Metallica. Throw me some more Motley Crue. Rock
Yeah.
bands.
Well, I
And
think that the issue that Harmonix and Activision ran into was they had like serious licensing issues when it came to going after the stuff that everyone wanted. It was like a lot of people kept asking for Prince. They kept asking. Well, they finally got Jimi Hendrix, but they were like, oh, they're getting ready to do a Jimi Hendrix one, so they stopped adding the music for it because they were anticipating they were gonna do one. And then in a lot of the bands around that time, that was kind of what the issue
see,
was.
but
Like with
like
Metallica,
that's
they had their Guitar Hero one, so they couldn't release or get the songs that they
all the
wanted
songs.
for
And
Rock Band. So it was
right,
like,
but I mean, there's so many bands out there. What I'm saying is like, I mean, I know you like Prince and all that stuff, but dude, you know what? Hey, the dude's a pop artist. You know what I'm saying? He's not a rock and roller.
he
I mean,
is.
he has.
He does. He's
He
got rock out.
got-
He's got rock
he
songs.
got rock. Right, he got rock riffs. He's not a rock. He's not a rocker. It's just what rock and roll is. He is not. I mean, he got elements of it, just like how Michael
Well, I
Jackson
mean, they
had
have.
elements of it.
I mean,
There's a lot
that's
of
the
bands that
thing.
have
On
elements
Rock
of rock.
Band, Rock Band had elements of a lot of different genres. So they had
Right.
funk artists. They had stuff like that. And as long as it had a guitar as the bass, that was all they needed.
Right.
And in my
But
eyes,
what I'm
that's the whole
saying is-
purpose of guitar of Rock Band anyway. It what
Yeah,
it did
but
was
see,
it
the thing is,
broadens
I
a
think
lot
a
of
lot more
people's
people
minds to a lot
didn't
of
like
different
that.
more music.
It
Because
did,
you
but a
can't just
lot
stick
of
to
people
rock
wasn't
because you
expecting
don't know what just rock is. There's so many dimensions to rock, and there's so many things that come out of rock. That's why there's so many genres that they
There is,
should have
but
dug
then call
into.
it something else. That's what
No,
I'm
they don't
saying.
have to
Like,
call
it's-
it anything
they-
else. That's
no,
the
but-
basics.
Well, that's what they did with all the other games. Like, then why make like a Beatles want to do this? You could do that.
Because that's
What
just
I'm
one
saying is-
artist. Rock
That
Band
is
is
one
supposed to. Rock Band was supposed to be
right,
the
but
representation
if you wanted to
of
make it like
all
you
of
wanted
it.
if you wanted it to be pop band, then call it pop band. Make different kinds because I think
They
that's
didn't
what
need
happened.
to. That's the thing. They don't need to
They didn't need to,
repackage
but
it and
that's
do
what
it.
hurt
All
it.
they wanted
Yeah, but
to
they-
do was.
I
But
feel
that's
like
what
they
hurt it. They
I
should
feel
have.
like
That's
they
what
should.
hurt it.
No, I don't think it
Yeah.
hurt it.
If you
Yes, it did
if
hurt.
you're gonna do
It
rock
hurt it
band,
a
'cause
lot, and a lot of people complained about that. That was their biggest thing. They were like, "Listen, dude,
Yes.
why do you have these things on here? These aren't rock. They have elements of rock. So
But it
what
was
you do is
DLC. That was the thing. You don't have to buy it.
not even on the
Oh,
DLC.
the
They had
core
some of
stuff
the
that they
on the
had-
paper.
The core stuff that
Not
they
all of
had on most of the regular Rock Bands, were most of it was. I mean,
Not
well,
all
like
of it.
Rock Band 3, it wasn't. They got away from it. But the first two, a majority of the songs they had on the regular portion of it was all rock. They were different genres of rock.
Yeah, but
yeah,
they were
different
very
genres of rock.
poppy. They were very poppy rock. Let's not disregard that.
Exactly.
It was very.
well, they had to
poppy
get stuff that
rock.
people recognized. That was the
Yeah,
whole
but-
point.
I'm just saying,
Not all those
okay,
songs were
right, let's say
recognized.
Green Day.
They were trying to.
Like Green Day was on there. Okay, cool. I recognize Green Day because junior high school. Hello, but
Right.
let's put some new shit on there. You know what I'm saying? If you're
And
gonna
they
put
did.
Rock Band on there, let's put some hardcore shit on there like Necronomicon and just like go hard. Like they didn't really have any heavy metal or like death metal on
Exactly.
there.
They
That would have
did.
been
That's
See,
great.
this is
What are you
this is.
talking
very.
I'm
about?
telling
What
you.
are you
Look,
Very.
listen,
saying?
It's
listen,
very
listen, listen,
minimal.
listen, listen, listen,
I
listen,
don't know
listen,
what
listen.
game you were playing.
No, listen. If you guys remember, they had Rock Band Network. That's where indie artists were able to go in there and they were able to put it on there themselves and be able to program it in there. You know,
But I'm
that's
not
what
talking about
they
indie.
went
I'm
in
talking
and they
about
had. They
metal,
had
man.
death metal in there. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
talking
They
about
had death
no.
metal in there. They
Oh my
even
gosh,
had
DJ.
recognizable artists in the Rock Band Network.
Oh my gosh, what we're talking about is that should have been in the original game in the first place.
Itself.
It shouldn't
Right. That
have
shit.
to be,
That's
if
the
it's gonna be
problem,
pop
though.
music,
But
that
that's the
pop music should have
problem.
been a DLC.
Exactly.
Licensing. That was the problem. They have to do it through licensing, and that's where they spent all their money. If they
Oh,
were
forget
going
the
to spend,
licensing.
if
I
they were
got
good,
it. I
but
totally.
listen, if you're going to spend all this money, because you're going to have to spend a lot more money for the bands that you're going to have on the regular disc than you are for the ones that are going to be on the DLC. And the only way they're going to get people in the door, casual people in the door, is put recognizable names on there and then add all the rest of the stuff on there. And if they couldn't get Necronomicon or something like that, that's on Necronomicon. That's not on them because they have to arrange and they have to work it out with the label. They got to work it out with the artist. They got to work out a lot of different things, and that's
I
what they
get.
kept getting rolled
Yes,
up
but they
into
do that. What I'm saying is,
because they
I
asked
guarantee you,
all the
they did not.
fans. They
No,
asked
I
all the
guarantee you,
fans.
when
They
they
said,
put those
"Look,
lists
what do you
together.
want?" And
No,
they
I
had because
guarantee.
I saw
No,
the
no.
surveys.
Yes,
They were
that's
like, "Put in what you
dude.
want, and
I
we will
guarantee
go
you can
after
tell from
those."
that list. They may have asked people, but that's their list. Trust me, if they wanted to go after people that were playing that, they are gladly going to get those titles from people.
Yeah.
There's some bigger ones that are dicks that might be give you a hard time, but they're going to get the name. Who would not want? How great is publicity to have your song being played over and over and over and over again in a video game? They
You
want
know
that.
how
I
much
know they want that.
if they really want
That has nothing to do. They
if they
fucked
really
I'm
want to
that
express
telling
up.
their
you,
autonomy
I've
like
seen
that,
article after
they could
article
fucked it
about
up.
the. I'm telling you, I've seen article after article about the
And I've
issues that
seen
they
the
had
same.
with
And I,
licensing. And that was the
yes,
big
that
thing. There were
for
things that they
certain
wanted to get
songs.
on there, but they
For certain
couldn't
songs.
because of the
Right, but there's a
licensing.
lot of stuff they could have gotten on there and they didn't. And what they do, they popped out. That's what they did. And people were getting
exactly.
pissed. They were
Yeah.
getting mad. They were like, "Yo, man, for real, this is all you can get." And I know. Listen, here's what they would do. They weren't releasing like whole albums. They would release onesie twosie songs. That's what's in their DLC. They'll have a pack. They'll put 3 songs in there, and it'd be like 3 songs. But dude, like we're talking about bands that's been around for a while. They have hundreds of songs, hundreds. You
Yeah.
can't negotiate for some of them.
Yeah,
They
I
could
feel like
have.
they
They
kind of
just
sold
You
out on
know,
that.
they
this is
sold out
you know what
that
this
rock
is?
band name.
You know what
They
this
sold it
is?
out.
We could end this very, very quickly. What we need to do is we need to approach Harmonix and we need to get one of those guys here on the show to talk with
Get
us
'em.
that whole situation, what they went through and how they're gonna approach it this time.
I'm down for it because the
We should
thing
really
is,
do that.
they really should have. You're telling me, I feel like what happened was they went after the most popular and they
Yep,
got
that's the
turned
same thing.
down by the most popular instead of just saying, you know what, we got a shitload of lists. Why don't we go online and ask people what would they want to hear on a rock band installment? I guarantee you it would be way, way different than what they put on the
Exactly.
disc. I guarantee you would be somebody on there.
And a
I
lot
bet
of
you a
those
shitload of
songs are
people would be
really
like
good, but
System.
that's right. Like for a long time when they first came out, come on, B, you were even with me. We were feeding. We were like, "Yo, how come they don't have this? How come they didn't have that?" A lot of the stuff that we actually were even considering playing and buying didn't come till Rock Band 2.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
those were with the DLCs.
Yep,
And
that's true.
and the stuff like songs like Eye of the Tiger, good song, still a poppy song. Get it out of there. It doesn't
Yeah,
belong.
it
Really,
I
you know what I'm saying? Like
hated
and that's
that.
what
My
I'm saying.
sons wanted to play that over and
and,
over
and
and
over and
over.
over again. And I'm like, dude, this is not what that is. The only game that I thought was a real rock game was Metallica and the Green Day one. Those were good. Even the Aerosmith
Yeah.
ones were good.
Yeah,
And because
Yeah, they
they
were.
had good music, they had good rock riffs. Let me tell you, I'm a big rock fan, metal fan. I listen to a lot. I've been listening to that stuff from since I was about 10, 11 years old. Even up to this day, I know the riffs. I know what a rock band sounds like. We used to have endless debates, even in the late 80s and early 90s, about when they had the glam rock versus the hardcore rock versus the speed metal, all that stuff. It was endless debate. Endless debate. And they call that stuff rock now. And we call it glam. BS. Guys coming out with makeup. They didn't even make it into rock culture back then. Not even. And then when you see it on the list, you're like, what the hell is this? You know, so like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't do their homework. The title was just for Flash. Don't know, but like a lot of that stuff wasn't. And that's what I think
Well,
turned
that's
people off.
you know what that's an even bigger kind of music discussion. I'm certain we could get into that. We got to do like a whole show on that because one of the biggest things that drives me crazy about music is how much a lot of times people try to create all of the so many different subgenres because the fact of the matter is a lot of times in these subgenres they have the core of like a different genre and then they'll flip, that artist will flip over and pull something from like three other different genres right in the middle of that same song. So it's like
Yes.
you try to confine an artist and say, oh, like the whole thing where they started talking neo soul, it was like, what the hell is neo soul? Even the artists that were being called neo soul hated the title because there was no such thing as neo soul. They were like, don't call me neo soul, it's just soul. What's the difference between soul and R&B? What's the difference between it got to the point, and it still is to the point where it's like whether it's iTunes or maybe it had to do with the way they were trying to filter songs with Napster or something like that, and they were trying to put all these categories so that you could find stuff. I don't know where it originated or came from, but it drives me crazy. And that's why I was like, look, the whole thing when you say rock, the thing about rock for me is that there are so many different things that come from that, whether it's blues, whether it's funk, whether it's metal, whether it's punk, where all those different things, they come from the core of rock, and all of it is rock music. And so many people try to say, well, this isn't rock, Gary Clark Jr. isn't rock, and all of it is still rock music. It all comes from the same core, the same like genesis of the same like
Right, but
origins of music.
if you say that, then you know what?
And that's
isn't
what
Run
they that's
DMC
why
on
they
there?
called that's why they that's
You know
why
what
they
I'm saying?
called
Like
it rock band.
Run DMC, Beastie Boys, all them,
Right.
Eric B, Rakim, they belong there too because that's
They had
that's
Beastie
derived
Boys
from
on
rock
there.
music.
They had
You're
Beastie
right,
Boys
they did have
songs on
Beastie
there.
Boys. You're right. They did have a couple Beastie Boys songs.
hmm
Yo, but why
It
not
was
see
still whack
LL?
though. It was still whack though. So
You know what I'm saying? Why?
It was like
Why
what, two
not see?
songs?
Yeah, yeah, probably a little bit more than that. But what I'm saying, why don't got LL? LL belong there. His early stuff was rock.
hmm
That Run DMC, Tougher Than Leather, that's a straight up rock album. That was guitar riffs and hardcore drum beats all day.
Yeah, it
Very-
was. I remember them
Yes.
talking about them making that. Yeah. Because they were
I love that
they were
album.
trying to get on MTV. That's what it was. They were like, "Yo,
Yeah.
we gotta get on MTV, son. Throw some rock riffs on it." Okay.
wow.
I'm serious. That was why they decided to do it. They were like, "Look, we gotta get on MTV. Throw some guitars on that jump."
They did. That's actually one of the big reasons why they did that.
Yeah. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we coming up with ideas for shows and stuff. We definitely have to have like a
Basically,
whole
what
new
they
show
could do,
on it. That'd be awesome.
I think for them to be successful, what they would do is I think the instruments you could probably get by, make them a little bit more durable. You probably can.
Mhm.
Charge us another $50-$60. We'll pay for it. Get it up here, right? What I actually really hated about them
Mhm.
is that, you know what, the game's not going to get any better graphical wise. Don't need it to.
Right, they don't need that.
They don't need it to. Give me something solid to start with. Don't make another freaking game. And just release a DLC for a third of the price. Keep doing that. If you want to add another major playlist.
I can see that, but
Will
I
they
think
do it? I know, probably not. It's
yeah.
asking a lot, but because you don't. The thing is, you don't need a game like that. You don't need to really keep releasing them as a different one, unless it's a way off topic, like I was talking about, like having like pop band or something like that, and then
Mhm.
you add some flutes and pianos and whatever the hell
Flutes.
they got, the pop bands these
Flute
days, or
band. Orchestra band.
do. Dude, I'm telling you, something stupid like pop band Katy Perry, that shit would sell. Yo, people would eat that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
would. I wouldn't buy it, but I know there's a whole bunch of people that would.
It's true. They
They'll be
would.
singing that dark horse like crazy, even though I'd
Oh
be
my
singing that
gosh,
on the DL. Just
my
don't tell nobody.
dude, I've
you
got it
know?
on my YouTube right now because my daughter was listening to it right before she went to bed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they can do that, but Rock Band game, because the instruments basically aren't going to change. Your drum sets aren't going to change.
Hmm.
Keep those things core. Give me a nice game. Give me a bundle. Shit, give me a bundle. Give me a $120 bundle. I'll buy it. Get it scooped up. If you want to do, you want to get a big add-on and add another, like another 30 songs,
Hmm.
instead of making me buy the ones and twosy for 99 cents or something like that, charge me $20. I download it. I'll be happy. Boom.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I wrote something about this a long time ago, about Rock Band because I was hoping, that they would come out with something like the next evolution of it because it was like you said, if they're going to make a new game, like a whole new, completely new Rock Band game, honestly, like you just said, it's really not necessary because they already really have the core, and that if
Yes.
and really all they really needed to do, um, was maybe think of a different way to do the control scheme. So like have it set up like they were doing before, where you can either use a real rock, and a real guitar,
Oh, like a real
or
instrument.
yeah,
Yes.
or real instruments on some of the things, and then also set it up so that you could just use the controller, which Rock Band Blitz was, so that
Right.
you would always have an option to play the song regardless if you had a controller, if you had the Rock Band controller, or if you had real instruments. Make it have it set up so that you can do it one of those three ways. But a part of me, I think back then, I was like, the only way that Rock Band could really evolve is if they kind of went a little bit further in the whole Rocksmith direction, where they actually put some energy into the instruction portion of it, so that
Yeah.
if you actually did have a real instrument, that you could actually use the songs that were in that whole thing, and they could help you learn how to play with the song, or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And
I would even buy that. I think people would get that too.
right,
I think that's a keeper. The only
right.
other thing I would have them do is like, because I downloaded so much DLC from the other ones, like
Oh
a
my gosh,
crackhead.
yes. Hmm.
I wish I could, like, on the next installment, whether you buy it for the console of your choice, if you have it, the store they had, how they keep a record of what you had,
Hmm.
allow me to get my previously paid DLCs that I bought and get them on my new game.
And I think they might be try. Well, I won't speak for them because they are still releasing DLC. So my thought is there's it would not do them service to abandon the large
Yeah,
library that they already have, set
exactly.
up and
Because
they've
a lot of
already
those songs are fun to
purchased.
play. They're
Right,
just
a
fun.
lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll try to see if we can arrange to get somebody from Harmonix in one day, and just do an interview with them on how it was, how it is, and what they're looking forward to going forward. Since all of this is coming out now, and we can already see the whole Geekswagg crew is definitely into Rock Band. So
Love Rock Band. You know how much hours we spent on that thing. I mean, we
dude,
were doing like nightly sessions. I mean, we were just going from medium to hard to hardcore. I mean, it was
well,
just
for
crazy.
for the longest, Makita, for the
Oh, that
longest, Jay and
Metallic
I
songs
were
killing
stuck
us.
on we were stuck on Guitar Hero Metallica, and we could not, for the life of us, actually finish. It was like the new album that they had out
Yeah,
then.
Death Magnetic. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
Death
there was just
Magnetic.
like two songs on there. They were fast as hell. I mean, the solo riffs. I don't even know how BJ got through half of those things, and
I
oh
got
my
through it.
god,
That one time, I almost kicked you in the face, Jay. I had
because I
gotten
messed it
through
up.
because you messed it up right at the
Dude,
end of the
shit.
song, and I got
Yo, I could
through it.
tell, boy.
I was like,
Yo,
dude, I got
he
completely
did it like
through.
6 times, and my leg was killing me on that bass
Yeah.
drum.
And I was playing on expert on the guitar on that damn
We were both
song.
playing on expert.
It
Man.
was
That thing's
hard as hell. I finally got I finally got through the solo, and the solo was just freaking wicked. And I got all the way to the end, and all it was that last like maybe like what 5 or 10 seconds of the drums right at the end because it was a whole lot of bass
Well,
pedal,
like
just like you said, right at the end of the
Yeah.
song.
And it's like an 8-minute song,
Right? Yeah.
and we did
just
it like 4 times. It was just killing me. I was
Wow.
dying.
I was pissed. I was so
Not to
pissed.
mention, I was drunk.
Yes, you were. Jay
I
was half
drinking
lit.
martinis like crazy.
Oh man, those are some great memories, though. I mean, freaking Rock Band and Guitar Hero Metallica. That we honestly could have spent, an entire month just only doing that every day.
Every day.
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? Now which I can't find for the life of me. Like I've been looking for old or used Rock Band sets or Guitar Hero sets to plug up to my Xbone,
Mhm.
and I say they're like impossible to find. And when you do find them on like eBay, somebody wants to rape you.
Expensive as hell.
Yeah, you can't. It's brutal, and I want to play, but my instruments are so worn out. I mean, I've had them from like day one.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I ended up the one guitar controller that I had that I used all the time. Jay, you remember? I like wore out the trigger,
Which
and I
one,
replaced the
drum or
trigger.
bass one? Yeah,
No, the bass one I
'cause
had
you
to
have
trade
the
in.
nice one.
Yeah, I had to trade in the
Remember?
bass one because the bass one, the triggers didn't. It was like the triggers stuck too much when you like flicked them. So
Yeah.
it was really, really, really bad. So I actually went back and the regular controller I bought like a new what is it, a new, not the fret buttons but a new trigger basically, right? And the problem was I was pissed off about it when I got it too. It doesn't work for Guitar Hero because because of the way the chip is, it only works for rock, for like the
Man.
newer rock bands, and it doesn't work for Guitar Hero. So I was pissed because I was like, dude, I wanted to be able to play Metallica with it, but for some reason it just doesn't work, on because of whatever they do with the chip on the new ones when you do the repairs. It's like when they don't purchase the chips that are compatible between Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Whoever
You
that
have
is
to
that
get like
sells
some
them.
weird third party one, and it'll work with both. I had pedals like that,
Hmm.
and it worked with both of them because I'd have to switch out, and I hated doing that.
Hmm.
But if you get like, I forgot which one I bought. You told me to buy it, and I bought it, and it worked with both of them.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did. It did. So we will come back to that at a later date. We'll set up another show. We'll try to get harmonics in. We'll get down to the nitty gritty and get those real questions into them.
Right, son.
So Jason, I know you got some tech news for us that we kind of wanted to get into.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I did get your note on that Google Glass thing. I didn't get a chance to look. I just got back. The kids had practice tonight, so I'm
Oh yeah.
wheeling and dealing since I left work. I ran out, came home, we had to eat real quick, fuck them off. Then they push practice back an hour, then I had to come back, get
Right.
them, run back home. So when you text me, I was texting back. Hold on, I'm coming.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. So,
Yeah,
you wanna
no,
go
we
ahead
got-
and kick
we-
it off, or I'll
No, we got some stuff. If you want to get into that Google Glass, we can get into that. I have been playing the PS Now.
Oh yeah, go ahead. We'll talk about that.
That's actually not bad, not bad. I still think the prices are ridiculous. I can't get over that. I just can't swallow it. It's just the prices are just they're horrible for the games you're getting. They're just bad. I think they could really do better on that. As far as
Well, they're
performance
working on
goes,
it. I think it's still even still considered a beta at this point, isn't it?
no, it's actually up and running.
Is
It's
it
up
is
and
it is
running.
it considered full release, or do they still call it a beta?
It didn't say beta when I downloaded it. It was. I know it's not released on the Vita yet. I think it's
Hmm.
coming soon, or it might even be this week. I'm not really sure.
Well,
But
the subscription isn't on the Vita. The actual service itself is on there. I've
it's
actually
on the
tried it.
Vita. Okay, so
Yeah, I
yeah, then
actually
it's
tried it.
so it's up and running. So
Yeah.
basically, I did the 7 day free trial.
Hmm.
So I've been messing around. I jumped on a couple of games that I actually wanted to play, like God of War,
Hmm.
Ascension. So that I've been having a lot of fun with that. Um, and a couple of other little wacky games that I didn't even know what they were. But as far as like the performance goes, it works pretty well. There's every once in a while you get a little bit of you know
Jank.
mm, it's a
Yeah.
little grainy,
Yeah.
but for most part it works well. I just don't like the model that they have. That's the one thing I don't like. I know they're gonna add games and stuff like that. They do have other cool features where if you when you're playing a game, they have another function where you can link it to your trophies. So any
Yes.
trophies you get there shows up on your trophy
On
list,
your
which is
regular
nice
profile, yeah. Hmm.
on your regular profile. So that stuff like that's pretty good. You don't have to worry about it patching it. It's basically a PS3 emulator with all the games loaded up on it.
Yep.
So I think it's nice if you liked your PS3. I just don't like the model they have with the 1 and 3 month thing. I'd rather just
Yeah.
do a yearly subscription, and I think that's probably been my biggest beef with that for a while. It's just I don't like that model, and for what they're asking for 1 month, it's
I
almost like
just.
you feel like you're gonna lose. Like I got, we got Xbox Live and PSN, right?
Hmm.
Like if I don't play for a week, no sweat because my subscription's for a year. If I go month to month, man, if I don't play something, I'm gonna be bent because like, damn, I'm
Right,
giving
you
up
paying all that money for it. You're like,
money,
what the
right?
bump? $20 down the
Exactly,
drain. Urgh.
exactly. So if you only play like 10 days, man, out of that, 30, 31 days, you feel like you've just like given money away. So I think that's probably what bothers me about that model. I just don't like that because you know, I don't feel like if it was like 4.99 for the month,
Hmm.
I can live with that because I don't really care if it's $5. But the
Right.
$20 thing does kind of get me, for that. If it was like 40, $50 for the year, I'd pay the year and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
It. And I wrote about this on Ladies of the Round Table on the website actually lortnation.com. Um, I was hoping and thinking that the use of PS Now is going to validate me actually having a PS Vita. I was like, this is going to be what gets me to actually play on it and play different games on it because the actual exclusives on the PS Vita just aren't interesting to me. I've yet to find like that one great game that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go and buy it. I have to go and play it because it's on my Vita. Aside from stuff that's also on the PS3 or also on the PS4. So I actually tried it out. I played like one of my favorite old games because I just did like the little rental, the 1 day rental. There was one game that was up there for like $1.99 for like 4 hours. That I used to like to play called Red Faction Guerrilla, and I
Gorilla.
yeah Gorilla. Um, and I was playing around with it, and of course the issue that you kind of end up having when you use the Vita is it doesn't have all of the buttons that a regular PS, a regular PS3 or PS4 controller has. The R2 buttons you don't
Right.
have on the Vita. You've got the little touchpad on the bottom, right? Um, and I don't know if the way that they manage the control scheme on the Vita for all of the games they emulate is this way, but the way they decided to reconcile this is, how some of the games, whether it's a Call of Duty or something like that, that you actually click or press down the thumbsticks in order to do certain actions.
Yeah.
What they decided to do was they ended up mapping those buttons on the touchscreen itself for the Vita.
Oh.
Right, and it's god awful. So any of the games where you actually have to use R2, L2, L3, R3, any one of those 4 buttons, and the L3 and R3 are just clicking down the thumbsticks. You actually have to touch corners of the touchscreen in order to use them. So the issue I was having playing Red Faction was, anytime you jump in a vehicle, you have to pull the trigger in order to make your vehicle move.
What about shooting? That's annoying.
Well, shooting on that game in particular was actually mapped to R1, and you can kind of change the control scheme for most games so that you can swap between R1 and R2. So most games within the game you can change that control scheme. And I actually think that outside of the actual emulated game, PS Now had it set up where I think you could manage a little bit what buttons were mapped where on the Vita, but I didn't play around with that part of it enough to see whether or not I could change, which one was R1, R2, or R1 or any of that stuff. I didn't play around with it that much because I was like, dude, I only have 4 hours to play this game. I just paid $2 for, so I'm gonna get all of the $2 I can out of it. You know what I mean?
It's for half the time trying to configure the control scheme.
Yeah, I was like, bump that. I'm gonna shoot somebody and run over somebody. But I mean, it was just like you said. As you're playing it, I mean, it looks great. I mean, even on the Vita, it looks fantastic. It plays just like the game, aside from the controls. Damn it. And it's a good concept, but it's like I don't know. It would not draw me to pay $20 as a subscription. If I got desperate and I was stuck someplace that had really good Wi-Fi so that I could play something, I might rent a game, for $2 or $3 to play. Right. I might do the few hour rental, but outside of that, dude, I'm not paying, what was it, $22 or $24 to rent the game for 3 months. I was like, bump that.
You could go buy those games for like a third of the price of GameStop.
You could probably buy it on PSN and own it on the PS3 for that amount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like, no, I'm not. I can't manage that.
And that's what I'm saying. That model, well, you know what? There's one thing I didn't think of in true Sony's fashion.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta always keep in back of their mind. They always start off redonkulous. That's their MO.
Right.
They do, and one of my favorite things unfavorite things to do is when they had like they came out with those nice cameras and they wanted to charge you like $100 for like a 6 gig memory card. Like, what?
Yeah.
I just paid $300 for this camera. So, and eventually, they dropped it to like $24.
Right. Yeah, because they recognize nobody's buying it. Thank God.
And that's my problem with them. They always aim a little too high.
They aim a little too high usually.
Yeah, always. And I'm hoping that
this is the case too, right?
Yeah, this is the case too, and that they'll drop the price eventually. I think if they do like a Netflix, get around that the $7-8 mark, I think that's fair.
Right. Yeah,
and I could swing that. I think I'd be all right with that because the control scheme on the PlayStation actually is pretty good. The only thing is because the PS doesn't have a start button, you have to use the touchpad for the start and option button, which is not a big deal. So
that's nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing. It's pretty.
Yeah, try playing it on a Vita, there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me it's pretty tough. So.
It's one of those things. It's like, don't try to play any of the like first person. I have yet to attempt to try to play a first person shooter on my Vita. I have no idea how that would feel or work out with the buttons and the way all the buttons are set up on that thing.
I know some of the other games on what was the one before the Vita? The hell did they call it?
PSP.
Yeah, PSP.
Mm-hmm.
I actually played a couple of first persons on that because I had that one.
Right.
And it wasn't bad. It actually worked pretty well.
Yeah.
moving over to some other stuff.
Yes, sir.
I was able to get, believe it or not, during practice, I had my phone. I got my little app, so I was able to watch Flash on my phone.
Oh, word.
So, yep. So Flash is back. They're continuing off, and uh, this new episode, kind of like I was open, but then I got kind of disappointed.
Wackonia.
I don't want to diss it because I like the show.
But you just weren't feeling it, right? It was a little
No,
slow.
you know what?
You know what it is? They're building the story so that the real action can happen in another episode.
You
That's
ever
what it
seen
is.
Liar Liar?
Yes.
And
Great movie.
When the scene when he was in with his boss and he goes, "Was it good for you?" And she goes, "Oh, I've had better."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm sure other people give it like, pretty good reviews. They brought back some old characters that they had earlier on during the season,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought them back, and they had stuff going on. But like the way they end the mid-season finale with Reverse Flash on there, there was Gaston Barry's chasing him down. He was trying to get faster, and I was like, "Yeah, get him, son!" And then like you're kind of expecting him to dive into a little bit more the Reverse Flash coming up. They left you on such a cliffhanger, and it's like, okay, I know about these two dudes. I really don't care. They don't even have superpowers. All they got is two guns that they stole, and they're kind of cool. So,
Right.
So I'm hoping Arrow tomorrow will be a lot better. Okay, because you got the whole League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul. Arrow actually got gutted
Mm-hmm.
in the mid-season finale, and they kicked them off a cliff. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna pick up from there, and how they're gonna magically save Oliver Queen, and they're gonna introduce the real Black Canary. So that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And Diggle's gonna finally suit up as the Arrow. I'm hoping, because he was kind of in there a little bit. So we'll see what's going on. I'm excited for that. So if people was out there, get on that Arrow, get on that Flash, because I think they're doing a little bit of they're constantly doing it, but I think they're gonna have one more little crossover episode where Arrow ends up on the Flash and Flash ends up on Arrow. So
Right.
Are you guys even watching those at all? No.
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 Oh, man,
I haven't. I just haven't. I saw. I'm sorry, Jay. I did tell you I was gonna watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's a lot to. I know.
It's one of those things you gotta get. It's like at this point, I gotta have like marathon moments, and it's hard to do marathon moments nowadays.
Right. Well, that's what I did with Sons of Anarchy, the show I always wanted to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all this, pretty much up to season 6 on Netflix. So that's what I did over the holiday. That's what I did. I kind of watched Sons of Anarchy. I mean, I knocked out like 4 seasons, so, which is good. And that's the same thing I did with Arrow. To get caught up, I watched season 1 and 2 on Netflix, and I fell in love. I was like, damn, it's a good ass show.
Hey, yeah, Jim Pants is saying that she's working her way through Supernatural on Netflix right now.
Yeah, Supernatural. That's my wife loved that show. I think she's watching it right.
I
she
love
does.
Supernatural. Well,
she's watching it right now. I think the new episode is on right now.
Listen to Makita. I used to.
No, I mean it's a great show. I think I just have like in real life I really do have ADD, but it's really bad when it comes to shows, because there were a lot of shows that came out that people were like really bugging me about, like, oh, you gotta watch Breaking Bad, oh, you gotta watch Sons of Anarchy, oh, you gotta watch this and that, and I'm like, oh crap. So I'm watching Supernatural. I was watching it with like on Project TV or something like that, and I think I kind of just got like worn out. Cause like
too much to watch.
It was just so
binge watching
so
can be good and bad.
Yeah,
it's bad sometimes. Because that when you were mentioning what you call it, Breaking Bad. Oh man, I was watching that and I was like, yeah, this show was off the chain. And after I got through season 4, and it just started to become repetitive. Like
season
they were
4,
getting into the same.
Dude, I'm not even halfway through season 1 yet.
Dude, the fights after like. The problem was, you know why? Because I was watching it back to back to back. So like say episode 1 they get into a disagreement, blah 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 blah. 2 they're good. 3
Mhm.
they're in a disagreement. 4 5 they're good. 6 they're in a disagreement, and it's the same shit they're fighting
They kept
over. You
replaying
know,
the
it's like,
whole
dude,
little
get it
conflict over and over
together.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same conflict. You know, it's the same freaking thing. It's like, yo,
Oh
man, this is why.
man.
Can't y'all write something better? And that's kind of what made me stop watching Breaking Bad. It's like I wasn't even interested because I could start predicting what was going on, and I'm like, yo, okay, I can understand him getting away with this stuff every once in a while,
Hmm.
but like, yo, every other episode, yo, how dumb are the people around him, yo? For real? Can't tell this dude is drug king, professional rude boy, yo. It's just crazy. So that kind of threw me
Oh
off of Breaking
man.
Bad. I gotta finish it because I've invested so much time in it. So
Yeah.
I gotta get back
What
get
about
back on.
what about this Attack on Titan? Jin Pants is talking about Attack on Titan. I honestly, I
I haven't
haven't
watched that
watched
yet.
I haven't watched an anime series in
Dude,
almost I want to say 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, BJ, I'm right with you on that boat.
same here.
I did my like, cause I have like my old school like anime that I have on DVD that actually spent money. That was back before these streaming websites and stuff.
Yeah,
I bought the
Crunchyroll and all this other stuff.
right, exactly. I actually bought the DVDs and I bring them to work and I'd watch like my Ranma one half or
Yeah, yeah, I remember
any
that.
yeah or my Fushigi Yugi, any other like crazy stuff like really like classic
Inuyasha.
anime. Yeah, I would watch all this classic stuff. So like somebody was like, they were like, "Oh, Attack on Titan," and you know how like when people
Dude,
they
my
like
kids are laughing at me
they
because I haven't watched that yet.
yeah,
I'm
they go
serious.
through this whole thing. You start hearing about a new show, and I'm one of those type of people. I'm just like, if I see a whole bunch of people that are hype about it, I kind of just like, I think like subconsciously I go against watching it. So I stayed away for a little while, and then one of my friends who's never excited about nothing, he's like he doesn't get excited about anything at all. He's like, you need to watch Attack on Titan. I said okay, and then I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, this is fantastic.
Really?
It's fantastic. It's great. It's great. You are missing out on life if you don't watch Attack on Titan. You're missing out.
Really?
That
Like
seems like a
seriously.
that seems like a
Okay.
regular argument for some reason for me. I'm missing out on a lot of life apparently.
Yeah.
But it was the weirdest thing in the world. I took my son. He's like 11 years old. I took my son to Barnes and Noble because I was trying to get both of my son's books because they were done reading the books they had. So I was like, okay, let's go and get you another book. So, of course, my oldest, he goes over to the comic book aisle and he starts looking through comic books. I'm like, a novel, a real book, little boy. So my youngest goes and he actually gets a real book and we're talking about it. Next thing I know, my oldest comes over and he's got one of the Attack on Titan books or whatever. And I'm looking at it, I was like, hold on a second. I was like, I've heard of it. I was like, I've heard of it. I was like, what do you know of Attack on Titan? He was like, oh, damn, I know about this. Da, da, da. He started rattling off all this. I stopped listening to him. I was like, boy, novel. I didn't say graphic novel. You're not slick. Go get a real, go get a real novel. Go get one. So, and it made me feel bad because I was like, dude, my son knows more about anime now than I do. It's horrible.
Wow.
I thought I was gonna be introducing him to stuff, I was like, oh, this is Inuyasha, and he already knows more about Dragon Ball Z than I do, and all this other kind of stuff. I'm like, oh man, he's schooling me
Right.
on anime now.
Yeah, get your Dragon Balls on.
Oh man, but since Dirty Helmato decided he was gonna skip over this little bit of news because we were actually gonna talk about it.
No, not skipping, not skipping. All I'm saying
You
is
would
I
jump
didn't.
around like, oh yeah, I got
No,
to
no, I didn't. I didn't read. I didn't get a chance to read up on it like I
Mhm.
wanted to.
But yes,
'Cause
we
at least
we're
halfway know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, actually what we were going to talk about a little bit here was there was a little bit of news about wearable technology, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys are pretty interested in if you guys are tech heads out there. Google Glass. There was a lot of really big talk about this. Everyone was all excited. Consumers were actually buying some. Developers were messing around with the kits and everything. And apparently, Google has decided to shut down sales of the device, and they shut down the Google Explorer, the Dora the Explorer program, for their developers. What was it? A day ago? What is today? Today's the 20th, right? Yeah, yesterday. So they shut the program down, but they said it's not dead. This is just the end of their first experimental phase, and they'll get to work on actually making it a commercially viable product, a Google Glass 2.0 or something like that. So, apparently that was their first phase, and they're launching into their next phase. So,
I
with
wonder how
that
much that's
said,
gonna cost.
right, and with that said, and I'm getting some of this information from a good site that I love reading called designnews.com, for those who want to go and take a look at it. The thing that I thought was interesting that they kind of brought up in this article was, there was so much excitement about hearing about Google Glass, but in actuality there was a lot more people that were like paranoid about the use of Google Glass in terms of like privacy issues and other things. They were saying that in like out in California and probably elsewhere, wherever people were using it, that restaurants and bars had banned Google Glass because fears that people would be using it to secretly record each other.
Oh, I remember that.
And just people that would end up trying to use it to invade other people's privacy. And it's just one of those things, because that's a part of the whole concept of Google Glass, that if it sees something, that you can instantly bring up information about whatever it was that camera sees and all this other kind of stuff. So you could just instantly be connected to everything, and you could Wikipedia the entire world and say, oh, there's Dirty Helmet. Let me see what Wikipedia says about him. Oh, nada. You could get information on anything, right? And that was the whole point, to be just constantly connected, right? Turn you into a cyborg. But it'll be interesting to see how they try to progress with this, because as much as we're digitizing everything and automating everything and trying to get VR user interfaces and all this other kind of stuff, everyone is always going to be afraid of always being connected, and being afraid of hackers, or being afraid of, like they said, having somebody record something that you don't want recorded. I mean, you're already halfway there with smartphones, because people do that all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Halfway there, we've been there, man. Everybody's doing that every day, constantly. How many people get in trouble because of social media? I mean, and you know what? I think when you start going down that road, it gets real political.
Because think about it. I mean, they had facial recognition on there, so it was like you could, next thing you know, you could pop up and say, "Hey, guess what? That dude sitting right next to you is a child molester." Like, oh shit, just right next to you, and just boom, it gives up all that person's information just like that, just facial recognition, just like that. You know what I mean? So it brought up a lot of really big concerns about the use of something like that. And as we start getting into this age of wearable technology that keeps us connected to any kind of data source or any kind of server or whatever, there's always going to be that pushback, or that barrier that people are going to have to say, okay, I like being connected, but not that much. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? I'm telling you what's happening right now. You may laugh at my comments. I'm telling you the truth. The Terminator and the Matrix is coming to life. Okay, both at the same time. If people don't understand the what's going on with data. Data is like right now. Everything is about information. It's about how fast can I get to you, right? On any level. And the problem is you can use that on the lighter side of the force, and you can use it on the darker side of the force.
Yes, very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
that's how technology is.
Like, I try to warn everybody. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I can put my stuff here and do this. Let me tell you, the minute your stuff leaves your machine and hits the interweb, you are done. It's being backed up.
Internet is
it's
forever.
being copied. It's forever. Every time that's
copied, altered, edited.
Whatever. It's
They'll
there.
do all kinds of stuff with it.
It's accessible. It's accessible. Once that stuff leaves your computer,
Hmm.
it's accessible. So like even if you have, your Google Drive, let me tell you, I tell people it's okay to put your stuff there. Just put things there you don't actually care about.
Right.
Like, if you got naked photos of yourself, don't put them in iCloud. Get them
Don't
down,
do
Oh,
keep
it.
them.
hold on a second.
Don't.
Wait. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta get rid of some photos real quick.
Oh, you're being serious.
Right, and that's those things people don't think about, and then you get exposed. I mean, financials, people putting just tidbits of information about where they're going on vacation so they can grab things a little
Yeah,
faster.
just left the house. I'm at the airport. Oh,
But yeah,
really?
yeah.
You know what I
Look
mean?
at these
It's
new
like,
lights that I put outside my house with my address on it. Come get it. It's just like,
yep.
I just tell people,
Yeah, it's
and
a bit much.
it is a bit much because the technology is moving so fast. I mean, they got cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Cameras are all over the place. I
Hmm.
mean, and you get that a combination of that, plus you get the combination of people being overly sensitive about anything. I mean, like you can't say nothing these days without somebody twisting it left and right.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, just
I
it's
think
just
I
like even in the news, you get like I was watching the the new award show that came on,
Hmm.
and more there, the guy that does all the documentary, he tweeted something about the movie Sniper, right? About
Oh yeah.
yeah, and the statement they used made it sound like he said something really really bad, and
Hmm.
all he was saying was, hey, my uncle got shot by a sniper in World War II, and it was just taught to me that they're cowards. But the thing is, you know, it's saying that he has backlash against the movie, and he didn't have any backlash against the movie. All he was saying was
He was talking
referring to
about a
that.
personal, it was something personal
Right,
that he
a
was
person,
mentioning.
right.
He wasn't talking about the movie.
yeah,
And
but that's the news in general. They really like they will screw things up. Like even I think what was it? When they took a picture of all these like world leaders
oh yeah,
supposedly
I saw
marching
that.
over in Paris,
Ah,
but then like somebody else had a picture from a different angle and they weren't marching with them at all. They were just taking a photo out making it look like they were actually marching. Like the news knows how to twist things
Yes, it does.
that they put on the internet. Speaking back on things about people being overly sensitive, I don't know like if I agree with that completely because it's hard to tell somebody how to feel. You know what I'm saying? Like what is considered being
Yeah,
overly
but
sensitive.
hmm
well,
I
no,
think.
actually, you can tell people how to feel, and that's what's happening. Like, here's how you tell people how to feel. Okay, every time
Well, what
somebody
I
makes
mean
a
is you
comment about
shouldn't. What I
something,
mean is you
you tell
shouldn't
them,
tell
you tell them,
somebody.
you tell them, hey, that's not right. That's not right. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. So now what happens is people this like I know a lot of people may not believe this, but the stuff you learn through your life, a lot of it's being taught to you.
Oh, of
Okay, and
course, you're
that's
being
right. And
programmed.
Yep.
you're being programmed, and at some point you do get smart enough where you can judge what's your personal feelings come into it, but off the cuff, a lot of it, and that's what happens now. Like everything is so overblown. Like this person's getting mad at this person for saying something, and like half the time, I guarantee you, it's not even
Taken out of
meant in that con.
context.
It's,
Yep.
it's right. It's not even meant in that context. It's just the way it's like I'm like, huh, Beat, you're an asshole. Like
You mother. Oh.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he knows I'm joking. And if somebody else steps into that, they're like, Jay's a dick all the time. Jay's not a dick all the time, just some of the times. Okay, get it right.
That's all
you
the
know.
time.
So,
It is
and
all the
that's
time.
what I mean by people get too over. Everything is an issue. Everything is a freaking issue. And then you throw some media behind it, dude. It blows it out of proportion. It blows
Yeah.
everything. Now, I'm not saying some of it should be ignored. Yes, it is. But what happens is everything is now mixed in the same pot. So now everything's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I keep telling people that you should always do your own research instead of just um,
Taking it for
believing
face value.
everything that yeah, just like,
You got
oh,
it.
this the police officers that got shot in the Bronx the other day and they were shot at, and I'm like, this is really really weird because all they did on the title was, oh, the police or two police officers got shot, and then I'm like, okay, so everybody's spreading this news article, and I'm like, are y'all reading this? Because one of them had a bulletproof vest on, and the other one was grazed on his elbow by a bullet. And this was during a robbery investigation, so it wasn't like somebody just randomly came up to them. Like they were doing their
Exactly.
Right, they
job.
were doing
You
their
see,
job and they were in a
see
Yeah,
lot
all
of
the
fire.
you see all the content that's been being missed,
Hmm.
and
yeah,
that's why it gets so dangerous because everything is at a whim.
Yep.
It's at a whim, and like with tools like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, man, you could fire off shots like a motherfucker.
They can get all
yeah.
kinds of
Behind the
coverage.
screen, you
Yeah.
get all
I'm telling you,
yeah.
you know what's gonna happen? It's so funny. Like, I'm watching, the news and that French thing, the Charlie
Charlie
Hebdo, whatever.
Abdul.
Yeah,
Charlie
dude.
Abdul.
I'm like, yo,
Oh, woo
World War III
woo.
is gonna
Woo.
go down because of that freaking fool. And you know what? Here's what's so funny about, and this is what I find comedic about this. A whole nation of people are getting upset. Okay, not all of them are violent, but the violent ones are getting so upset to this because this guy's making cartoons about a guy they consider to be holy, and he has all these teachings of peace and everything, and they're acting out in violence, and that's so comedic to me. It's like, dude, you're going against everything this guy's trying to teach you.
Yep.
He's trying to teach you peace, all this stuff.
Who
I
is
think he
this?
would have probably thought it was funny.
Who like? What are you talking about? Like Muhammad?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Okay, but it's different. It's different when you're not in that religion, or it's different. It's easy for you to say something like that. When it's not just the cartoons, it's the Muslims have been oppressed over in France for years,
Yeah, that
and
is true.
it's a constant thing when you are oppressed and you have expressed
violence is never
in
the way to go.
other nah
No matter
if you
what
I'm
you go
sorry,
through.
that's easy for you to say,
It's
but
not easy
when
for me to
you
say, but
it's if when
it's
you
not
say,
like
but
nobody
hold
hasn't
on, let me
experienced those things.
finish.
I
Let
mean,
me
no,
finish.
God, ah,
When you put, oh, violence is not an answer. You have to
it's not ever.
understand that if you have to understand that if there is no other way besides, okay, you're saying, you're speaking out, you're protesting, you're saying we don't like being treated this way. They've been doing this, they've been doing nonviolent tactics for a long time, and then all of a sudden one person does it. You can't blame a whole religion for it and be like, oh, these people. No, you blame that one person, and that one
Exactly. That's
person
Yeah,
and
exactly
that
what
one
I'm
knucklehead.
saying.
person,
Hmm.
even though it was wrong. I'm not saying he should have done that. I would never say that somebody deserved to die that way. That's not true. But when you have no other voice and people are ignoring your voice for other things, you can't expect keep hitting people, expect not to get hit back. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, I disagree with you on that.
Well, to a degree, yes, but no, absolutely not. And here's why those statements that you said are incorrect. Because if you keep if people make fun of you or they do those things to you, I'm not saying don't don't lash back, but going, you're right. You can't blame the whole section, but the people that do it, they're assholes because you cannot go around killing people because you're being made fun of or the things you believe made fun of. Like I'm Christian. People make fun of God and Jesus and stuff like that. Do I go out and try to kill them? Hell no, absolutely not. I would
That's
never say that.
you though.
I would always defend what I believe in, but I would never ever take another person's life because of it. Especially the teachings that these people do. That's being a hypocrite. Plain
That
and
is that, yeah,
simple.
but you're not being oppressed, so it's different, not in the form of religion. And Christian religion is pretty much taken over, has been the quote
Now,
unquote
when you're talking
religion
about oppression, what
of
they
that.
can't practice their religion there?
It's not even just about
They're
not
being called
practicing their
names on the
religion.
streets.
They're being have you okay, so you're worried about, oh well, these people are being killed. Have you heard about the French dragging out the Muslims? Have you been catching up with that, or are you just like reading like trending Jace, I don't know how to pronounce, I'm really bad at French. Jesu Charlie.
Yes,
No, I'm
um
not trending. I'm just talking about this situation.
so, like I said, there's been tons of violence against Muslims for a really, really long time, and
and and through
there's a
through a
lot of
lot of facts
innocent
and through a lot of
people,
factions of a lot of people, and I
and
get it.
you can't. For me, for me,
Look,
and
even
in my
if
point of
it,
view, and
I
my
could
point
even
of view, you
understand
can't just say
if it was a military thing, but rolling up on people that are in any way, like,
On the
dude, some
media.
dude is met. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the American government does it all the time. Sorry, bro. The American government does it
we're not even talking about the
all the
American government.
time. They do.
And,
I'm talking
and
about like the
okay, and they
military.
do. So
And
what does that make
speaking
them?
as a
Does that make
veteran,
them right
I
either?
know
That makes
that.
them wrong too. That makes them
Okay,
wrong
so
too.
then
You
don't
shouldn't.
try to like, but we, then we need to understand that,
I'm
okay,
not
yes,
defending
it's wrong
anybody
on
that
both
does that. I'm not saying
sides.
not once
You
am I
can't.
defending
It's if
anybody that
I
does that.
if
That's
I
a
say
coward thing.
something to
If you're
you,
rolling up with some machine guns in a coffee shop where people you don't even know and you don't even understand who's there and you're doing that, you're fucked up. Plain and
okay,
simple.
that's fucked up
Anyway,
whether you know them or not. It's fucked up
you know what I'm saying?
whether you know them or
Like,
not.
dude,
Well,
how
I'm
is
guys,
that?
not.
let's save that for like another show. We could do a whole show on that whole topic.
I totally
I
get
just
what you're
wanna
saying, and it's
I
wrong.
just wanna
Yes, the
say I
things that
just
they
wanna
do to these
say
people are wrong. But what
just
I'm
for
saying
ending it,
is,
just for ending its sake,
Hmm.
is a 50-50 chance for anybody. If I decide to come up to you and keep slapping you, there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to hit me back. And there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to say, you know what? This isn't right. She's a, whether if you believe in not hitting females or whatever, blah, blah, blah. There's a 50% chance that you're not going to hit me. So if you take that chance to continue to push a button, you cannot be upset when something happens. He knew something was going to happen. He already admitted it before he died. He chose to press that red button and he fucked up a lot of people's lives. That's all I have to
and
say.
he did, and totally he's wrong. But what all I'm saying is, you know what? If you got beef with that person, beef with them. Don't take the innocent people.
Into the whole
That
struggle.
you know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
right. And the thing is, you deflate your cause by doing that. You make everything so bad by doing that. Even if are in the right, you make it wrong. Okay? If you have beef, like that's what I'm saying. If you have a military objective, hit that. That I could at least understand. But the people that are innocent, never. You should never drag innocent people, or you should never drag anyone else into your personal thing. I mean, like he was doing that right. He was sitting there and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna piss these people. I'm gonna draw this cartoon, right?" And do that because he know that was gonna hit their buttons, and then they hit him. And you know what? That's their beef. That's their beef. You know what? It's sad when people die, but when you go to like, that's what I'm saying. Like those
That
things, like
extreme.
the coffee. That's extreme when you go to a coffee shop. I mean, just random people in there just trying to get their food on, and that's just wrong. That's just wrong on any level. And that's what I'm saying. For people to know better, that have these religious beliefs and understand that, whether it's us or them, it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. It's you know what I'm saying? It's just wrong.
Oh,
And you know what?
I
I feel for anybody.
have a way to bring this back and bring this back up, ladies and gentlemen. It's a perfect opportunity to go into the next episode of Adventures of Bungeoneering. Aren't you waiting for that? Yay! Clap, everybody! Clap,
Hey!
damn
Clap, 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 clap.
it! Okay, so we'll lighten the mood here. I've got this very, very, very gorgeous story, um, where there is this little 13-year-old boy that's over in, of course, Silicon Valley. Where else would this be from? But he's an eighth grader, and they were, of course, having their regular science fair project kind of deal going on in their class. So for some reason, this little boy decided, um, after he was doing some online research, and he started asking, how do blind people read? Of course, his parents just said, Google it. That's what any parent does. So he actually went online, started researching, and recognized that for, of course, the whole Braille printer thing, and, he started looking into that, but noticed that some of the cheapest Braille printers cost like $2,000, which is extremely too expensive for, most people, especially blind people that are in developing countries. So this little 13-year-old boy, his name is, and I'm gonna murder his name. I'm sorry, Shubham Banjari, I think.
Where's he from?
I guess he's of Indian descent, I think.
Okay.
And he he felt, of course, that that price is just way, 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 way too high. There's got to be an easier way to do this. So he did what he could. He bought a whole bunch of things, and he ended up spending late nights with a Lego Mindstorms kit, Legos, and developed his own robotics kit that's an actual Braille printer. It only cost him maybe about 300, a little bit. I think it says about $350, and only weighs a few pounds, whereas like current models weigh more than like 20 pounds. And basically, he wowed so many people with this little Braille printer that he won all these different awards and support from the blind community. And he started his own company called Brago Labs. And of course, other companies saw that he had done this, and they actually recognized that, hey, this kid's onto something, and they bought his little company out. And so he's basically a CEO of his own little company, and he started it all, from a little science fair project with a little Lego set and everything, just using his mind, being creative, and just doing what he can to try to help. You know what I mean? I just thought that was just a great little story about, for a lot of the kids out there to just recognize that, especially with all these how things work, and how do they do this and everything. Always take the opportunity to go and take a look and research a lot of these things, especially things that you're particularly interested in, because it seems to me like nowadays there's so much innovation coming, but a lot of it is coming from like smaller kids, because I guess their minds are more open or something like that. They don't already see all of the technology as, in terms of how it's come to be. They just look at it and they say, "Oh, that's a tool for me to do something." And you know how kids are just creative anyway. Their imaginations are far more explosive than ours at our, seasoned ages that we're at now. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
kids do pick up a lot of that stuff a lot easier. I mean, there's stuff that like my kids, I don't even have to show them anymore.
Hmm.
They just do.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with like all these little hacker space events and stuff that are going on. All these kids are going in, they're flying through and creating these apps in, like minutes or hours, and all these little events and stuff like that. It amazes me to see, the creativity and the imagination that kids can have in just little events and situations like this. So, kudos to Mr. Shubham. I guess that's how we pronounce your name. I'm very, very sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly.
Most likely you did.
Probably, probably, probably. Um, but also, real quick, a little news bit. Since we are on Twitch now, I felt it was only right that we let the people know. For those who don't know, I'm sure a lot of those who use Twitch have probably noticed that Twitch now has its own music category, and that Twitch has begun looking into getting banks of music licensed for use on broadcasts. So whereas they used to have that bot that goes in and identifies, the song that's playing in your archive broadcast, and they just mute that whole section of your archive broadcast, now they're actually going out to musicians and they're requesting musicians to work with them to allow for the use of that music on Twitch for anybody that broadcasts, whether you're playing a game or whatever. But they actually are catering this music category to just be used essentially for live performances. I won't say a lot of DJs, but DJs like Steve Aoki, and I hope I pronounce his name right. Steve Aoki, is that his name? I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name.
I don't know. I
Um,
know Steve Aoki.
yeah, he's
the DJ.
yes, the DJ. Yes, that's the
There
DJ.
you go.
Quotes. The quotes,
Quote quote.
DJ.
Yes, and Skrillex and his label, and I think a few other DJs. They've actually had live shows broadcast on Twitch where they'd play music, and then of course they'd have like games broadcast as well. But they got really huge followings when they opened up their channel, and they were doing that.
So is it
And
like a playlist kind of? Do you just pick
no.
from it, or
Well, yeah. Well, I won't say that. No, it's not a playlist that you pick from. They basically have a listing of the music that's licensed, and if that music is recognized by the bot, they won't mute that portion of it. And I think that's how it is. I'd
okay?
have to take a look at it a little bit closer, but from my understanding of reading like the press release, that's the way they have it set up. But in the music category itself, though, I think the way they have that set up is that it's just like a filter. Rather than saying games, they've got the music category where artists are planning on going in there and just having their live performances broadcast there, so that when you go in, that won't be the only thing that games won't be the only thing that they'll have in the little featured area. They'll have musicians, I suppose, now going forward. And I think it's interesting. I mean, it only makes sense. People have been trying to use Twitch, us, for more reasons than just broadcasting games and stuff like that. So, it'll be interesting to see if this gets any traction in the music community, and whether it ends up being a staple or whether or not, because I mean, if you think about it nowadays, if musicians are gonna do stuff like that right now, I would imagine they'd use YouTube, right? So
That's true.
it'll be interesting to see how much, if any, traction really takes off with this. I mean, it looks like the whole electronica dubstep kind of community is kind of using it. I saw there was I can't remember the name of the channel, but there is an actual channel that just plays 24-hour dubstep and type music on their Twitch channel. And that's how they chose to use their Twitch
See, I
channel,
was
just to
kind of
broadcast
told,
music as
right.
a
I thought,
like a radio station. So.
yeah, I always thought that's what his Twitch thing to do is end up kind of being like, another YouTube.
hmm So yeah, I think it's
Makes
interesting.
sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
it's an interesting little development for Twitch. Their new direction that they're trying to go with that. Um, I noticed, Mr. Thickenation, in here that you are hyped for this Ant-Man movie.
I'm
Who's
not
hyped?
hyped. I'm not hyped. I'm not hyped for that.
You're not hyped for it? You just recognize that they had a trailer for it?
That's it. That's as far as I go. I don't know because Paul Rudd. I can't. I'm not buying it, and I
No,
think it's
I
gonna.
don't know. I don't know
It's.
if I'm buying
I
that
don't know.
either.
He could surprise you. I just don't know what I feel about him being Ant Man at this point. And the trailer, to tell you the truth, from my perspective, I thought it was kind of corny. I was like, oh wow.
A lot of people that I heard that are actual Ant-Man fans said it was a boring trailer and that they were not impressed.
Yeah, no, I wasn't impressed. But it was short. I think maybe like a minute, maybe.
hmm
So like I don't know. Have you guys seen it at all or
Nope.
no? Haven't seen it.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
so I mean it's we'll
Eh.
see.
Eh.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what
Well, I think right now we're at a point where I don't want to say Marvel can do no wrong, but because of the way Marvel has set up their movies and have made them in their stories interlaced with each other,
Yes.
I think they have set themselves up that the Ant-Man movie will do decent when it releases. Just
I
off
think
the
it will.
just off the
Just
strength
off
of
the
it being
name.
a Marvel
Yeah.
movie, and that
Yeah.
the
I
content
think
of the
it'll
story is going to be relatable to the Avengers and all this other kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, but the way I feel about his character too, it's just like he could have been like as far as having their own movie,
hmm
he could have been like Romanoff there, Black Widow.
Right,
Didn't
where they
really,
just stick him in all the other movies and just have him do
yeah,
bit
didn't
parts.
really have to have his own movie kind of deal. And still make it. He could have definitely been comic relief. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it appears if they're gonna do a whole movie about this guy, then apparently the way they wrote this phase of Marvel's universe, that he's got a major role in whatever they're developing for, what is it, Civil War or
Yeah.
whatever, Infinity War or Infinity Johnsons. I don't know what the last Avengers movies are going to be. But whatever that whole conflict is, apparently he's going to have a major role in it if they're going to give him a whole movie.
Actually, he does play a big part in Avengers. I mean, he has a lot of their tech, him and Tony Stark. So,
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that created Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Not Apocalypse. Jeez, Ultron. Shit.
Oh, Ultron. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's maybe I don't know. I thought if that was gonna. I don't know. I'm just. It looks funny. I didn't know if anybody else saw it or even actually cared about it. But
Well, on that same note, what do you think about them using what's his name, Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, which apparently has begun production?
wasn't he Deadpool in one of the other something
Yes, he was Deadpool in the other. What was it? Wolverine
the
Origins.
Wolverine one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like Ryan Reynolds.
Not even,
Sorry, man.
not even in the role of Deadpool, who's just flat out just f the world.
No.
They're just crazy out there.
You know what? You know what it is? Because
So, well, then let me ask you this: if you don't think Ryan Reynolds
those
was
two,
the man, who do you think should have been Deadpool?
I don't know. I guess I don't. I really don't know.
That's
But
a
like, I
hard
don't.
sell.
It's
It's a hard sell.
it's a hard sell. But I just don't think he's the guy. Like the same thing with Paul Rudd. Like those guys, they have this dry kind of humor, and no matter what role they play, they always bring that humor
Hmm.
in, and it's not needed. You know,
Right.
and I think it chokes some of the movie. Like it's like when he did what Green Lantern.
Yes.
It's just it's like murders the film.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty
It
bad.
could have been better,
Hmm.
and but I just think it murders the film when you have guys like that in there. They bring too much comic relief unless the character like he has that essence of him. Like Jim Carrey and the Riddler. I thought that was good.
Hmm.
Even though the movie is bad, I thought his part
His
was good. 'Cause,
performance, yeah. I mean, he's
yeah,
over the top anyway, and they kind of need that for that role.
for that role, and I
Mhm.
think that kind of worked out that way. But these guys, they're kind of lukewarm sometimes. They're over the top, and then it's just I can't see them in anything serious, even a comic book. It's just
They just seem out of
you know,
place.
exactly they very well see out of place. But you know what? I haven't seen it, so it's gonna be out. I think they said May.
This May?
Yeah,
What, Ant-Man or Deadpool?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man? Really? This
Yeah,
May?
yeah, this May. Yeah.
Wow. That
May
seems soon.
2015.
I thought that was when the Avengers was supposed to be coming out.
I think Avengers is probably a little after that.
Really? That's wild.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. They're releasing trailers and stuff for it, so.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. If you didn't hear it already, Ant-Man, May. Go check it out. No, not really. Don't go check it out.
Wants to be like one of the best movies.
One of those weird Guardians of the Galaxy kind of things where it just is entertaining. Just watch it and enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the moment where we actually dig in to one of the things that I kind of promised for the new year for Geekswagg as we kind of wrap things up here. Music. We love it. Y'all love it. You heard about our passion for it when we were digging into the whole rock band discussion. But I thought it would be interesting to kind of just have a quick little discussion on the music that you guys hear in video games. Not necessarily by artists, but actual sound scores that you guys thought were memorable, whether it was like 8-bit, 16-bit, or modern day orchestral grand sweeping epic sound. What are some games that stick out in your mind that if you know, had like the quick little bit of chump change that you'd actually go and buy and listen to without having to play the game to listen to?
Mm. I don't
Any
know.
stick out?
No.
Because
The
I've
only
got
one
a few in mind for myself because I've bought a bunch of
I
them.
got one. There's one that I didn't buy, but I actually wanted to buy. The
Hmm.
Skyrim soundtrack. I thought that was fantastic.
I've got it. I can give it to you.
I think some of the Halo stuff's pretty good.
Got that too. I can give it to you.
Um, the only one that for me that I can think off the cuff that I actually like the music to in the game,
Hmm.
and they're probably it's more they have more real music. It's GTA. GTA always have good tunes
Yeah,
on the radio. They got a good mix up and mashup of stuff. So
dude.
you know,
I saw the box set of GTA 5 soundtrack. That thing is so freaking huge. They
yeah, they
always
got a lot of
do.
music.
They do a tremendous job of pulling just the right mix of all these different genres, whether they're independent or pop artists, and just slapping it all together into each one of those radio stations.
Since yeah, they're so
It's
good. There was this
amazing. They
one
do
I was
really a good
listening
job with
to
that.
that played like all that nice 70s soul music.
Yep.
Ooh, I was just I stayed in this dude's house because he had it on. Yeah, I did. I spent like a good 45 minutes in there. Just listening to the gems he was playing,
Hmm.
like some Marvin Gaye, Delphonics. I mean, there's just good stuff. I was getting open. I was like, damn, I don't ever want to leave this crib, but I gotta go do this mission. So, I kind of ran off. But yeah, I actually play that game just to like drive around in the car and just listen to music. I just think it's
Hmm.
probably some of the best stuff.
What about you, Makita? Can you think of any games in particular where the soundtrack just kind of caught you?
The only no, you know what? I won't say the only, but the most memorable soundtrack for me would be the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. That's the only
Ah.
video game
Hmm.
soundtrack I've ever purchased,
Hmm. Hmm.
ever.
Yep, I've got that one. Very, very good. Very good. I mean, dude, I'm all over the map with it because I used to, I loved Final Fantasy 3 soundtrack. I got open with that, of course, 7. Um, I loved Skyrim. The guy who actually wrote that, what is his name? Because he does is I think it's Jeremy Soul or something like that. He does the music for all of the Elder Scrolls soundtracks. So I've actually downloaded. I won't 100% say purchase. I've actually downloaded the Morrowind soundtrack, the Oblivion soundtrack, the Skyrim soundtrack. I love all of those. And he actually used to do the music for. You guys remember Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale?
I remember Baldur's Gate. That's
Yeah, though. Well, I mean, Icewind Dale basically was like just a sequel. It used the same engine, even though it was made by a different company. But he did the soundtrack for Icewind Dale, which I thought was that soundtrack for it was better than like some of the earlier um, Elder Scrolls games that he did. But I used to love that soundtrack, and it you can kind of tell his style. That whole soft, grand, sweeping, kind of style that you hear in Skyrim that is just so iconic now, and it goes perfectly with the game and perfectly with the areas of the game that you go to and through in Skyrim. I used to love the soundtrack for Diablo 2. I thought the soundtrack in that game went so well with the different areas and regions and stuff that you ran around with in Diablo enough to where I actually bought that soundtrack also. You guys remember this other indie game called Bastion that came
It
out?
sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah. That soundtrack, I love that soundtrack. It's kind of got it was almost like a weird mix between folk, hip hop, and country music almost. It was like a weird mix of three or four different genres or whatever, and it was just so unique when I listened and played that game that it kind of drew me into that game. So I loved Bastion's soundtrack. Um, of course, all the little staples by the same guy who does the Final Fantasy music from a lot of those old JRPGs back in the day. Whether it was, and I know he didn't do all of these, but like what was it, Secret of Mana? I used to love that, the music in that game. Chrono Trigger, Xenogears. Um, there were just a lot of games. And what I'll probably try to do is I'll make a good listing of some of the more widely celebrated soundtracks that a lot of, I guess you'd say, soundtrack aficionados usually gravitate towards. Of course, Zelda. I mean, anytime you hear the Zelda theme come on, you know exactly. You know Zelda when you hear the Zelda theme. Just
Don't say
soundtracks
Mario
like that.
Brothers.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna say Mario.
Yeah, jamming out to that. That's the shit right there. Okay.
But also, I mean, you guys remember the Hitman games?
Yes.
I used to love the soundtracks for those games. The guy who does it, Jesper Kidd, I love his soundtracks. He did like Freedom Fighters. He did that also. He's done a number of other video games that, it's kind of got this almost electronica, almost near, not quite dubstep, but just electronica kind of sound to a lot of his soundtracks that are really good that I love. Goes very well with Hitman. It's very mysterious, a lot of the soundtracks he does for those games. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, you should definitely let us know what your favorite video game soundtracks are. Just ones that just just are, whether whether it's a nostalgia thing for you, in terms of you just loved the game and you played the game so much that the music was stuck in your head, or whether it was something that you actually just heard the music and didn't even recognize it was from a video game. I mean, there aren't that many people that recognize that, but just let me know, shout it out. I'll post it in the show notes and everything, and just give everyone a really, really good listing of some really great video game soundtracks or composers that you should, open your ear to and take a listen to. So we are definitely going to keep that as a part of a show. I think that's like I said before, music is definitely something that we're going to try to make a regular portion of our show. Maybe we'll even figure out a way to get a few, whether they're composers or actual musicians, kind of like we had K Murdoch on before, that come on the show even. And so if there are any people out there or particular artists out there that you guys think that we should be interested in, or that we might be able to try to get interviews with, let us know. Send us an email. You can hit all of us up as a group up at Geekswagg at heedmag.com. That's Geekswagg at heedmag.com. And I'll put that contact information and everything. If you've got questions for us, or just want to comment on the show, or put in your 2 cents in or opinion on anything that we discussed on the show, definitely hit us up. Send us an email. I'll make certain it gets out to the rest of the crew, and we'll respond to it. We want to hear from you guys. We love that you guys have chosen to spend your time with us rather than the president, as he did his State of the Union address tonight.
Right?
Yeah, that was right. Right when we started. That was when he started. So for those of y'all who decided not to watch the prez and to watch us instead, thank you very much. Makita, let the people know what you're getting into. If you got anything coming down the pipeline, girl, let me know.
No, there is absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
There's
That was
nothing
cool.
going on.
What about you, Jason? You got anything in the pipeline? Any videos? Any streaming sessions you got planned for this coming week?
Actually, I'm doing some streaming this week, probably towards the end of the week, probably Friday night late. I'm gonna be there on Twitch. Just do a search for Dirty Helmet, and you will find
Just got
me.
paid. Friday
Friday
night.
night, hope already. Gonna play some games tonight. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. And I got some new Call of Duty video.
Hmm.
Some of that one shot. I've been playing that up like crazy.
Interesting.
So I got some of that going on there. I'm hopefully get some commentary over them, get them uploaded soon.
Nice, nice. Should be nice. Um, as for myself, I'm hoping I will be able to get on and get a good streaming session here on Ladies of the Round Table around 10 o'clock or so. I haven't 100% decided what game I'm going to play, but as you all know, the second it comes on, you'll know when it shows up. But I am hoping that this week marks the end of my PC gaming hiatus. If things work out the way that I hope that they will, this week I should be able to put in an order for a gaming laptop. So hopefully
Woohoo!
I will have that in the coming weeks. So maybe by, I would imagine, February, I should be back into the whole PC gaming swing of things. And we'll see how that goes, cause I mean, Jay, you know me. The second I get that Joker, I'm gonna be all over freaking Mech
Steve.
Warrior, Mech Warrior. You know me and Mech Warrior. It's like that's like the first, one of the first games I like binged on when I had my PC back in the day. So Mech Warrior Online, you guys are on notice. Bunny 3000 is coming for y'all. About to stomp on y'all with some urban mechs, some
Well, you should be able to
Warhammers,
run. No, you should
some
be able to
everything.
run that because
Oh yeah,
you
definitely.
know, well, I don't. When's the last Big Warrior game they made?
Well online was the latest one they developed, and that one came out maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I think. Because it's online, it's not
Oh,
it's not
okay.
single player. It's it's like a multiplayer only kind of online game. Um, so yeah, you guys are on notice. I'm about to go in there and stink up the spot. I will be fodder for all you guys to blast until I get my Atlas, and then I'm destroying everybody.
Ain't killing nobody.
Yeah, I probably won't. Anywho, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. This is Geekswagg Live. Thank you to Ladies at the Roundtable for having us here. This is your boy Bunny 3000, along with,
Dirty.
and of course, the one and only.
The Grim Freaker.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Thank you for being here with us. We love y'all, and we will
Ah.
see you next week. Peaceables.